Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We're doing our third and final game between Larva and Speed. We're on Radeon once again, but different spawns. We have Speed in the top left, Larva in the bottom left. Yeah, it's been cool so far. I love little series like this and seeing how it goes down differently, how they want to prep and open up a little bit differently. Obviously on Zerg's side, a little bit harder to do a different opening. You kind of... You know, for all the ridiculous flexibility that they have in the mid and late game, you do give up some of that in the early game. It's like, well, I mean, you could go pool first, but yeah, you could open Den instead of Spire, but I don't recommend it too often. Whereas on Speed side, I have no idea what he's going to do. It could be Command Center first. It's not going to be BBS anymore, but it could have been. Could be factory, could be one base, could be two base. Who knows? Anyways, while we kind of wait to see what these guys are going to do in this third game, I want to thank you for tuning into ArtosisCasts. Very much appreciated, guys. Thank you for leaving comments, liking the videos, and please do check if you're subscribed. You'd be shocked. Every time I say this, people are like, I can't believe I wasn't subscribed. I've watched so many of the videos. But yeah, that does happen. So thank you to everyone for subscribing to the channel. Hope that you're enjoying. New video every single day at the same time. It's 10 a.m. my time, which is Atlantic Canada time. Did you know that North America has more time zones than the ones in America? Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I literally didn't know until I visited my wife's family out here. But yeah, that's 9 a.m. Eastern and so on and so forth. And yeah, I basically never miss a day. So subscribe, and if you want, hit that notification button, and you too can watch ArtosisCasts every single day. Always new Pro Brood War being played. Dude, it's pretty close to unlimited. Like, you know, anytime I want to find some Brood War I haven't seen, it's really not hard. And for me personally, like, I have certain things I like to watch regularly as well. You know, I have certain Korean streamers. I'll check out their videos and their YouTubes and stuff like that. The KCM Race Survival series, I mention that quite often. And of course, I watch a ridiculous amount of ladder games, which is so much fun. So thank you guys very much for the support. Now, taking a look. It looks like just a factory expansion, like game one from Speed. He's got a very defensive layout on his base. He's faking a bunker rush, and Larva's not buying it, so he'll cancel this now. Just not buying it even a little bit. Look at how much he's not buying it. It's almost comical. The amount that he knows that this is not happening. He did have a drone up there. Oh, he actually didn't go in far enough to see the base. But he still somehow knew. Unless he's hiding a base up here. I thought he might have seen it, but maybe he did not. If he just goes in here and turns around, then he did not see the base, and he was just that base that he literally was like, no, there's no Marines coming. Because even one Marine going in there is problematic. It's actually an issue. Yeah, he just went up to scout. Okay, he has no idea. He had no idea. That's crazy. Wow. All right, ballsy. I like it. Command center coming up. Vultures being made, and armory there. This is actually, for me, more interesting than the Valkyrie builds. I'm not a huge fan of doing Valkyrie builds in my own games. I don't really like the unit that much. Whereas mech builds, you know, mech builds are pretty fun to mix in from time to time. So I'm excited to see which mech build that this might be. Like, is this going to be a Goliath based mech build? Is it going to be a macro based mech build? One armory or two armory? Is it an all-in? Is it, you know, there's also, like, we've seen recently there's been some interesting, like, Goliath into bio builds popping up once again after many years. I looked into those a little bit. I didn't get to cast one because there haven't been that many, but it's still kind of an all-in. It doesn't seem that flexible like I thought it might be, but anyways, I'm kind of rambling here as we see Goliaths get started, Goliath range, and we should see +1 attack, but +1 armor goes very well if you're going to do like a 5-factory Goliath all-in. It's like the only time you get armor. First for mech is specifically with Goliath all-ins against Zerg. it actually just like the armor does more against lings and mutas than the attack does. So we'll see about that momentarily. Like, he's got to get his production going before he starts the upgrade. Okay, so third hatch. There's the spire. And it is the armor upgrade. There it is. I told you. Yeah, it's a real thing. So in case you're wondering about that, right? Like, Goliaths do 12 ground damage. As far as their anti-air attack, mutas are considered small. So I don't think that the rockets really do all that much against mutas. But the additional armor, they have a base armor, so that already reduces 3 damage from Mutalisks because of the bouncing glaives. And then the next armor upgrade reduces 2 damage. And then against lings, when you look at it, like a base armor against Zerglings is really, really strong because they deal 5 damage very quickly over and over. So it's a 20% damage reduction, right? And they already have 1 armor. So like lings are already not good against Goliaths, by the way. Like, you'd be shocked, like, how few Goliaths you need to hold early Zergling attacks. But then you add another armor on top of that. It makes the Goliaths very, very stable. It is, again, the only time that you ever go armor first. Really, for Terran in general, there is a funny armor first build for Bio. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. Okay, so he's already going to Forfact. This looks to me like a very, very all-in build. Notice how he's on 31 SCVs only. And he's already going up to 4 factories. Like, I'm pretty sure he is just going to make, like, 12 Goliaths to move out. Okay, now, we actually have a Ling and Mutalisk attack coming in. Would be nice if he had, like, stop position and SCV on top of that. But he's actually got enough to hold this, I think. Larva is getting so aggro here. Oh my god. And he ends up killing like 4 SCVs, but he loses a lot of lings. He loses some mutas there as well. Not a huge deal for speed to hold that, although I think he does need to make a few SCVs. This is like, this SCV count's getting pretty pitiful. And he'll probably just stay on the 4 factory. I can't see him really adding anything beyond there. The Mutalisk count is getting higher and higher. If you know that your opponent is just going to make Goliaths nonstop, generally it's good to make mutas nonstop. And just get a huge Mutalisk count. The, you know, you can concentrate all your mutas into basically like one square and just get on top of those Goliaths and bust them up. And I think that's what we're going to see here. I remember there was a game, I think on Litmus, where it was the most insane game where it was like endless Goliaths versus endless mutas Shine was playing. And I went into some pretty deep analysis of why that sometimes happens and why Shine is really interesting for doing that. We might actually see that from Larva here. And he would be, with his kind of brainy style play, someone who would risk doing this. Because, well, he's actually getting full scouting. So, like, if you see no starport here, there's no splash damage. So the mutas actually scale better than you would think against Mass Goliath. And he's actually getting good damage against the SCVs as well. He's got him down to 19. Now, this group needs to be stopped. If you can get Sunkens up, Goliaths do not fare well against Sunken colonies. +1 armor is done. He's coming down to try to hold this. 2 Sunkens on the way. Okay, I think Larva will just hold this. So you can see he's trying to target down those Sunks a little bit. But as the rest of the mutas come back and the Sunks finish... Yeah, I think Larva just holds. Pretty sure. He's got the Sunken, so he's definitely not going to just die. Holds the base, and that gives him 3 more mutas per minute because of the gas. Making Sunkens over here as well. But you can see speed, he's trying to keep this pressure on. The thing is, once you're getting up to, like, you know, 4 or 5 Sunkens, that type of thing, like, the Goliaths just do so poorly. And you can see he's switching over into siege tanks here. But his economy won't allow for a longer game. So now it's like, okay, well, you're going to be buying siege tanks. Now, what should Larva do in this situation? He's got enough Sunkens? Well, you just keep making mutas because he's not scaling up his Goliath count in correlation with the Mutalisk count, right? Like, he's having to add siege tanks to break through the Sunkens. So, yeah, you're going to be able to just kind of outproduce on the Mutalisks. And he sees the double add-on, so he's got to know what's going on here. Okay, In my opinion, you're done Mutalisk harassment now. No, he goes back. I think this is possibly a mistake. Like, I think at this point, it's just about getting critical mass to kill the army one time. You've hurt the economy so badly. I don't see a reason to lose additional Mutalisks or take additional damage here. You're going to be playing against mass 1/1 Goliath with a few siege tanks with siege mode. All you have to do is kill the army one time. So I think at this point, you literally only buy Mutalisks. That's it. Muta, that's it. Not a Zergling. Maybe you add a couple drones. I don't know. You want to balance it so that you can buy the Mutas and Overlords that you need. But he's got enough Sunkens so that even when the siege tanks get down here, he's got some time to produce. But yeah, if he goes nothing but Mutas here, I believe that he just mathematically kills everything pretty simply. That's that hurt group he was harassing with before. Here comes a bunch. Okay, so it looks like he wants to stop reinforcements. I don't like this. I don't like it. If he hadn't kept the harassment up, he'd have like 8 more with higher health, and then he'd have these, plus all the ones he's making at home. So we're looking at, right now, with this next group popping, he'd have over 30 Mutalisks with good health. Playing against, there's 12, 16, 17, 18 Goliaths. He needs to bring every Mutalisk home. What are we doing here? I'm going to go ahead and say this. I don't know who's going to win this game. Shine would have won this game. That is, I sincerely believe with my entire heart, Shine would have won this game. Flash would have won? No, Shine would have won. I've seen Shine in this position many times, and he brings all his mutas back in fights. Okay, he's brought these mutas back. There we go. He's got... That's not even all the mutas. Why are we not bringing all the mutas? He's trying to slow everything down still. Dude, he did so much damage to the economy. There's 5 SCVs left. But does it matter if there's 19 or there's 5? It doesn't. What matters is killing the army. That's the only thing that matters. If you kill the army and you're still on 3 bases, the game ends. Does Shine... Or, no, it's not Shine. Does Larva have enough to finish him? He might still. He might still. Yeah, okay, so he does still clear it. I'm standing by. He did too much harassment. I think this is something... We see it a lot in Protoss vs. Terran as well, where people will over-harass. They'll get really far ahead, and then they'll, like, suicide in 3 more shuttles with High Templars, and it's like, dude, you didn't need to bring me from 42 SCVs to 35. Now I have counter-push because you don't have as many storms. I feel like that's what we saw here. Yeah, he still won. So I guess you could argue, well, he did the right thing. He still won. And I'm like, I don't know how to argue against that other than there was more of a window here than there would have been if he had just kept all the mutas and just, like, stomped the push as it was breaking the Sunkens. Anyways, I guess you can let me know what you think about that. At the end of the day, Larva ends up taking down Speed 2-1. Really interesting builds. I hope that you guys enjoyed those games, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.